An old building may see some new life depending on the outcome of a special meeting. News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live in Hendersonville. Victoria, we're of course talking about the Gray Hosiery Mill.
That's exactly right, and it's a nearly 100-year-old building that's right here on the corner of Grove and 4th here, and this is just a beautiful old building, and it's really had several opportunities to kind of get a new life. Let's take a look at some of the things that it has been brought up on as we look at the building with some video here. In 2008, the city looked at some ways to use the building. There were thoughts of maybe tearing it down, making it into a performing arts center or a convention center. In 2011, the city funded a new use study, brought in consultants to see what they could do with this building. Well, here's what's happening now. Later this morning at 10 o'clock, the City Council is holding a special meeting to discuss the future of this building. It has put out the call once again for developers to present their ideas and see what may happen here. Now, this building is a National Historic Registry, and it is considered a landmark here in the town. In fact, back in 1915, when the Gray family built it was actually built because the city had come to them and said, the people said, we want something here to build an industrial element in this town. So they built it and started knitting socks for children back in 1915. Here nearly 100 years later, the building is sitting empty, but it's not over yet, according to a lot of people who are hopeful to see a new life for this old building. We will let you know how the meeting goes. Again, it's 10 o'clock this morning, but coming up later in our next half hour, I'm going to take a look at some of the things that have been going on in the building since all of this whole process of trying to figure out what to do with it next has started. It's been home to some interesting things. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
Here's a look at what's happening today. A special meeting could bring a decision on the latest attempt to revitalize a portion of Hendersonville's history. News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live outside the Gray Hosiery Mill. Victoria, what's the goal there?
Well, the goal is to find a new use for this old building. Take a look at it here. You can see up there on the corner of Grove and 4th Avenue here, that's where the original building was, built in 1915. And in the 1940s, they added on this extra area, and it is a historic landmark. It's been home since 1967. It's been home to a craft store and even the county library for a time. And take a look at this video of one of its more recent uses. If you remember back in January, we were at a secret location where they were filming that new movie, Shadows on the Wall. Well, folks, that was right behind me here at the Gray Hosiery Mill, and we were inside. It is beautifully historic. It does need some work, but it's got a lot of character and charm, and that's what developers see in it too. And that's what's going to happen today at 10 o'clock. The City Council is supposed to be hearing from 4 different developers with 4 different plans for bringing new life to this old building. News 13 will be following this story for you and let you know. This isn't the first time, though, that people have proposed ideas to give this building some rejuvenation. Coming up in our next half hour, I'm going to take a look at some of the ideas that have come up in the past and the plans that have brought us to this point today. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live in Hendersonville. Victoria, we're talking about the Gray Hosiery Mill building, right?
Absolutely, and it's right behind me here at the corner of Grove and East 4th Avenue East here in Hendersonville. The original part of the building's up toward the corner there, and then they built on in their time here. This was built in 1915. Well, today there's going to be a special meeting to see what the future holds for this nearly 100-year-old building. Now, it has had several ideas brought up for its future use in the past. In fact, as we look at some video of the building, I'm going to tell you back like in back in 2008, the city looked at some ways to house this building and use it in an efficient way. The ideas then were a performing arts center, maybe a convention center. In 2011, it funded another study to look at possible ways to use it. Now, there are going to be 4 plans presented to the City Council at the special meeting later today at 10 o'clock this morning. They are reportedly involving another marketplace event center idea, apartment lofts, loft space for artists, and so on. We will be following this meeting and let you know what this holds. This is a registered historic building, so it is possible that there could be some tax breaks involved in the development of it. Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to let you know what has been going on in this building since the city gained control of it back in the 1960s. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
A nearly 100-year-old building may be seeing a brighter future.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live outside the Gray Hosiery Mill in Hendersonville. And Victoria, what's happening there today?
Well, today the city leaders are going to hear about some ideas for giving this new building a new life. It's nearly 100 years old. It was built in 1915, starting up there on the corner. That was the original building. Then this is an addition that came around in the 1940s. And it has been, it started out making socks for kids back in the day. And it was brought about when the citizens of Hendersonville went to the Gray family and said, you know, we'd love you to build this because we want to see some industry coming into the city. And so they did. And for years it was a resource and an active mill. And then, well, in 1967, it has been a craft store. It was a temporary home for the Henderson County Library. And if we take a look at some video we have for you, we can show you one of its latest uses. Back in January, remember when we were out live at the secret shooting location of the film Shadows on the Wall? Well, I can tell you it was right inside that building. It is a beautifully resource for, you know, that type of a setting and so on. But the ideas to take it to the next step include things like maybe possibly loft apartments or loft space for artists and other businesses. There is going to be a total of 4 proposals presented to City Council today. This isn't the first time they've come up with ideas or tried to find new uses for this building. It is a historic landmark and registered, so that means there could be some tax incentives and tax breaks tied to this as far as the progression of a plan goes. We'll let you know what happens at this special meeting. It takes place today at 10 at Hendersonville City Council chambers. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.